Welcome back to 1111. Today being Thankful Thursday, I'm going to talk about the things our patrons have said they're most thankful for that we offer when it comes to family. And most of these happen to be semi-philanthropic. As you know, the Academy of Omni Arts and Sciences runs an arts nonprofit called Whimsicality. What you may not know is how many programs it has designed for specific members of the family. So let's check some out, shall we? I'm going to go off script here and just riff a bit, so be prepared. First, we have Shared Treasure Hunt. It's our Kids Helping Kids activity that's pirate themed because why not? Whereby kids put together backpacks full of goodies. They follow a little treasure map to pick up things such as socks, a toothbrush, coloring markers, comic books, you name it. And they put together an entire backpack full of back-to-school goodies that will then be given to a child who's less fortunate and isn't able to get these things in order to start school. The emphasis is on having the kids put the backpacks together, not adults, and then the kid writes a note to the child who will receive it. Both parties are anonymous, but it's just one child reaching out to another. That's one of my favorites. That had been on the back burner since 2011. We finally got it going 2 years ago. Super grateful. So that's the basics of Shared Treasure Hunt. In addition to that, we have the Scallywag Enrichment Program that's part of Shared Treasure Hunt. It's a 21-lesson enrichment program, all pirate-based, with disciplines like math, reading, practical skills, you name it. And it's all through lessons about pirates. So, for example, they may learn about nature or even cooking, which involves reading and math, by reading about scurvy and making something with oranges or citrus. Next, we have the search for Plunder and Percival's Loot, which is a DIY print-at-home treasure hunt. Super fun, as I've been told. All the pieces are there in a PDF. You just print and make the stuff. It's got all the clues set up already. Shared Treasure Hunt also features a packing party planner for people who want to get together a crew of their own to do Shared Treasure Hunt, but don't exactly know where to start or what to serve at the party. This has party favors you can print out, recipes, a calendar for planning, sea shanties that you can sing along to, activities, coloring pages, mazes, a DIY pirate hat you can color in with a parrot you can put on it and color, all sorts of fun stuff. And finally, for Shared Treasure Hunt, it's the Omni Port Tour for parents. It's an online activity where you answer questions, and if you get it right, you move on to the next port. There are 21 ports total. 21 is the number for Shared Treasure Hunt, if you haven't figured that out. And each little online port you go to tells you something else about the Academy. I don't mean trivia, but it tells you about different programs. So, for example, Shared Treasure Hunt would have been one of the ports, but since it's run by Shared Treasure Hunt, not so much. Which brings us to something that would be one of the ports. Our next item up is our Fabled Creature and Endangered Monster Rescue. It is the most ridiculous approach to animal aid you've ever seen, and it's definitely the most fun. We have mythological beasties, everything from mermaids to Medusa. And when you sponsor a beastie, half of the funds go to an animal aid organization that matches it, and whatever's left after costs goes to Whimsicality, our nonprofit. So, for example, if you sponsor our mascot named Marmaduke, who is a woolly mammoth, the animal aid proceeds would go to an elephant organization. I mentioned mermaids. If you were to sponsor a mermaid, the animal aid organization that would receive that money would be a Save the Manatees organization. So we take the fictional creature and then find a real-life counterpart to benefit financially. Another really neat aspect about that is the Golden Quillers initiative. For every beastie that gets sponsored, the sponsor gets a thank you note from the beastie, or at least written on behalf of the beastie, and the writers of the notes are school children. So, for example, if you sponsor a Bumble Bunny, you might get a thank you note from a child saying things like, "Thank you for being a sponsor. This Bumble Bunny has had lots of flowers to play in and has been able to make a lot of honey because of it," and whatever it might be, but the child writes you the thank you note and it's absolutely adorable. And this can be either digital or physical, and if it's physical, you get some extra stuff. Our next family philanthropy program is Fairy God Mentor Certification, which is just what it sounds like. If you want to be a fairy godmother or a fairy god mentor, you can go through a self-study course online and you actually get certified in it. It's a whimsical way to make a difference in the lives of young people. Whether you're a parent, an auntie, an uncle, a neighbor, just a friend of the family, or just someone maybe who's never had kids, but you want to be a good example and role model for younger generations and give them opportunities perhaps you never had, or just make for a better world, that's the program for you. Next is Whimsical. There might be people who really believe in what we do, but they don't have necessarily the funds to donate or sponsor anything. They just want to be part of it all. Well, Whimsical is a super fun way to do that. We have a monthly advent calendar with little pictures on it, and you click on any given picture and it takes you to that day's activity. And if you take part in this activity, it benefits whimsicality, or what we call whimsy. So it might be on any given day, please share the latest social media post about something fun we're doing. Or please consider participating in this free activity, whatever it might be. And then when you do this stuff, you get what are called plunder ducats, Omni currency that you can use toward all sorts of stuff, be it a logo, tote bag, t-shirt, mug. You could put it towards courses and events. Next on the list, our Omni tales. Those are our interactive books. If you get the digital versions, there are links you click on that open up different things for you. So for example, if it says that somebody was on hold listening to obnoxious jingles on the phone of some business they called at the pizza joint, if you click on that, it will take you to an audio of what the person was listening to with the ridiculous jingles. If you get the tactile version of the book, you get things slid between the pages. So if, let's say, it said that they were planting roses, you might get a little packet of rose seeds, that kind of thing. Hand in hand with that is our Growing Eager Readers lessons. These are immersive enrichment program lessons that enable you to do in real life what you're reading about in the stories. And we have these in stories designed for 8 to 12-year-old readers and 13 and above. Either way, we found that the parents enjoy doing the stuff just as much as the kids. And that's putting it mildly. The parents usually enjoy the kids' stuff the most. When you do the Growing Eager Readers, one of the options for the older kids, well, some maybe 10 and up, is doing a Rebel Raid, an online escape room type thing. And we also have Omnopoly, which is a quiz that accompanies the lessons, and it involves a little digital reward at the end of each quiz. So that's fun, Omnopoly. And playing Omnopoly, you can earn plunder ducats as well. We have a number of clubs for family members. We have a kids club based in New Jersey with a different theme each week, with activities for all ages that are adapted per age but go with the weekly theme. There's sometimes science lessons, writing prompts, games, and we're also going to have Kids Club in a Box coming up in autumn. So for those who can't get to New Jersey or maybe want to start a kids club of their own, you'll be able to print this stuff at home. And next year we'll have the tactile versions where you get literally a party in a box. We have our Biblioperatives Club. This is library groupies, supporters. People who love libraries and want to thank them for what they do and help them. And we have a program where you can share what Whimsy and the Ocademy are up to, free programs that we have, everything from the reading revolution to stuff I'll talk about in a moment. But it gets to the libraries by our biblioperatives taking these things along with treats for librarians to thank them and their staff for what they do. Our next club is the Scribblers Pen Pal Club. That's for kids, minors I should say, any age minors, for them to learn the fun and joy of having a pen pal and literally getting a letter written to them by post. They receive it in the mail. It's like receiving a gift. It's a wonderful surprise. Plus they learn handwriting. What if you don't have access to an electronic device? You have to be able to know how to write. So without just typing. Preferably in cursive, by the way. It is a faster way of writing than printing. And our final club is Tea Travelers Society. That's based in Southern California. We've done hundreds of events at this point. They're themed tea events because we're big on tea, whimsicality. Tea is just a wonderful way to bring people together. Every culture has their own tea tradition. So we host theme teas. The last one we had was a book launch about a Victorian secret society in the 1880s. And our next one will be a summer sleuthing series event next week. And that is where you solve a cold case over a hot cuppa with cuppa mystery games. Other activities for family members include Novel Ninjas coming next year, whereby kids will get together during summer and they will get to write a story. At the end of it, we will put together an anthology and all their stories will literally be published. These kids will have their name in a book that's available on Amazon. For adults who want to write, we have The Author's Journey, which has been on hiatus for a couple years and will be returning. Other programs include Homeschooling Yes You Can. It's a series of assessments and workshops to help families decide if homeschooling is right for them and then how the heck to do it. We have Omni, our biennial arts and crafts fair. This year we're going with the theme of a witch craft fair. With all the vendors purveying things that go with spooky season. And I'm most excited that I get to teach a class that will help people get their broom driver's license. Very excited about that. I'm also teaching a dance class using your broom. Yep, broom choreography. Of course, Whimsy has fundraisers, including our musicalities. Our next musicality will be our Phantom Fantasy, Phantom of the Opera, with performers and costumes, and audience is always invited to come in costume that goes with the theme. There's always an audience sing-along, and those have been favorites for years. We now have what we call sponsortunities. If you can't get to one of our activities, or you just feel very passionately about it, or you want to get some extra eyeballs on your business, you can become a sponsor of any of this stuff. And depending on the level, you'll get different degrees of coverage, exposure, links to your name or business, all sorts of stuff, shout outs and videos. And we've brought back our Omni casts, which involve volunteers doing a very tongue-in-cheek newscast. There is actual news in there, but it's mostly pretty silly, which is basically how we roll. So as you can see, especially if you visit any of the websites listed, hint, hint, there is something for everyone in the family. Best of all, most of these activities help others and just plain make you feel good, usually while having fun in the process. Hoping to see your name on some of the sign-up forms for these activities. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please do let us know. We're here not just to make life whimsical and fun, but meaningful as much as we can for all we touch. For now, Chitty, stay home, everyone. Tuta.